Hey there, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Reading with Billy. It was 4:30 p.m. We're scheduled for today, and I was so excited. I think it's 4:30. It might be like 4:28 or at least 4:29, I hope. I apologize if I'm a little bit early. I was just so excited to connect with you today. Remember, as always, if you have any questions, any feedback, I'd love to hear it. First off, I do have to start with just sharing how excited I am for our second book signing tomorrow, and that is at 7:30 p.m. at our Babylon location. I am going to post the event link in the comment section. I truly hope you're going to be there. It was so good that we're doing it again, and we're going to try and do some different things, and hopefully you can be there. But Reading with Billy, we're going straight from the book today, A Simple Plan, Chapter 9, to Making Healthy Food Choices. I think it's important to understand why certain things don't work so that you can figure out what does work for you. So I want to go through just a list. I love lists. They just keep things nice and simple, nice and clean. I'm constantly making lists for everything. In fact, just before I jumped on here, I was making a list on the board back there of some of the things that we're going to be doing moving forward. A couple of a list of five. All right, so five's a nice number there. 5 reasons why most nutrition plans fail. The first, number one, is that they're overly complex. Life is busy. If you're like me, you have you have kids, you have a job, you have hobbies, you have relationships that are important for you to invest time in, and tons of other things to do. The plan has to be simple. It doesn't mean it has to be easy, but it can't be overly complex. Most people are not going to be dealing with things like either eating a certain amount of calories, like weighing food. That's just crazy. Who has time to do that? Or things like following an exact plan. It just doesn't work. We've seen it over and over again. People, they want an exact diet prescribed to them, but there's too many other factors. Life is too complex for that. So the plan has to be simple enough that they can follow with their particular circumstances. There's all types of diets. You hear everything from intermittent fasting to carb cycling. People are constantly asking me about these things, and I'm not going to get too much into my opinion on those things because that's not the purpose of this video. But the reality is it has to be relatively simple for you to be able to follow it for the long haul. Remember, it's not the short game. It's either a marathon that we're looking at or at least a series of short sprints over and over for a long period of time. The second is a flawed technology, an ineffective technology. It's like if I were to ask you to make ice cubes by boiling water. It's never going to happen because it's an ineffective technology. That's just not how you do it. And many diets are the same way, and that's why they don't work. If you have a diet that completely cuts out a macronutrient, like you're going to eat 0 carbohydrates, or you're going to eat 0 fat, or especially if you're going to eat 0 protein, it's an ineffective technology and will never work for the long term. Enough of that. Next, number 3 is one size fits all. Many solutions try to fit you into their box rather than finding the program that works for you. So there's some principles that we follow and suggest, and I'll share those quickly. But it's about finding what works for you, and a lot of it is going to be intuitive once you start doing these things. I'm not going to tell you that you should be eating a very low-carb diet. A lot of people, I do believe, should eat a very low-carb diet. They don't tolerate carbohydrates well, whether it's from a digestion standpoint or whether it's from just a fat storage standpoint, but that's not everybody. I know people who eat tons of carbohydrates and do really well with them. So I don't think a one-size-fits-all program is going to be the best approach. The number 4 reason why most diets fail is they're too boring. I mean, how much turkey or chicken can you eat before you feel like you're going to grow feathers? You need to have some variety. You need to enjoy your life. You can't be on a plan that requires you to be perfect all the time. This is life. You're going to be human, but so you just need a plan where you're consistent and you're following some basic guidelines most of the time. But anything that's too strict and too rigid and too boring, I think is going to be a mistake in the long run. And the final, the 5th one I saved for last because it's for sure by far the most important factor as to why most nutrition plans fail, and that's because there is no accountability. Just reading straight from the book, this is by far the biggest problem with most nutrition plans. Many of us fail to be consistent due to a lack of accountability. Once some solid systems to keep you on track are implemented, magic happens. We all need a little kick in the pants now and again, and this is why simply following a diet from a sheet of paper doesn't work. So those are the 5 pitfalls. We know that accountability piece is huge. Study after study is showing that, and we're also seeing it in our actual results with our members. The people that get more accountability, whether it's through an additional nutrition coaching program or some other way, they just tend to really kick butt and do much better. The opposite to this, the counter is the 5 qualities of an effective nutrition plan, and for the most part it's just the opposite. So I'm going to go through these a little bit more quickly. I want to be respectful of your time, but if you have any specific questions, be sure to ask. The first one is they're simple. It's anybody can follow. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It's going to take discipline. It's going to take hard work, but it's simple to understand. But remember, again, don't confuse that. I heard this today again, and I love this. It's if you want to do something or be someone that you've never been before, you're going to have to do some things that you've never done before. So what are those things that you've never done before that you know you need to do to get to where you want to get? The second is it produces results. I mean, a lot of times people can answer their own questions. I have people ask me all the time, hey, does this type of diet work? And it's like, you tell me. You've been following it for 9 months, and you haven't lost any weight. You don't feel any better. You're not sleeping better. Your digestion's terrible. So you tell me if that works. So the answer, obviously, in that case would be no. I mean, you should know if it works or not by the kind of results you're getting. So let me ask you now, are you getting the kinds of results you're looking for with the plan that you're on? And if not, it might be time for a change. Find a program that does produce results. It should be specific to you. So in other words, you should be able to eat the kind of foods that you like, the food that you enjoy. You should be able to avoid the foods you don't enjoy. It should fit within your schedule, within your time frame. It should be flexible enough to work in the real world. It should be enjoyable. You should be looking forward to your meals. I can really fall victim to this pitfall of not enjoying it. Sometimes I'm so focused on things I have to do that I don't enjoy one of the great pleasures of life, which is a meal, especially with other people. We're eating alone too often, and we're not enjoying that process. So you should be looking forward to at least some of your meals, that you're enjoying them, you're putting your fork down between bites, you're chewing for enough time, and you're being thankful for that food. And finally, you should be constantly motivated. You need to have the support you need. We all need support. It's such an important area. What we put into our bodies really affects us. It affects us. It affects our focus mentally. It affects our physical energy. It very well may change the DNA that we have. It might help us become healthier for a longer period of time. So these are really important things, and we need to make sure that we're constantly motivated through good and bad times. In addition to that, we have some guidelines that we sort of preach that work really well, and I'm going to leave you at that with a little bit of a teaser. Of course, I'm not hiding anything. I want to share everything I know, but I'd love to have you tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. at our second and final book signing for now at our Babylon location. It's at 7:30 p.m. I would love to see you there. Let me know if you can make it. If you'd like to get your hands on the book and you can't make the book signing, I would love to make that happen as well. So just let me know. Thanks so much for tuning in. I love connecting this way. And just thanks for all the support. I've gotten some really, really wonderful feedback on the book so far. I'm going to share some of that. I just received a message today of somebody in their plan of reading it and implementing it, most importantly, because getting the information is great, but nothing really happens until implementation occurs. So we want to make sure we're setting you up for success. Thanks so much again for joining in. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at the second book signing. I'm going to post that link a little bit later on. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks again. God bless.